You ever question yourself? You ever stand butt stark naked in a mirror and tell yourself that I love you? How do you see yourself? What defines you? What motivates you? What's the areas of your life that you enjoy or hate the most? From when you were a child and you became a man or a woman, what experiences in your life changed you? What is your occupation? How does that occupation affect your home life? Relationship with your wife, partner, children, family? Or are you a follower or a leader? Or are you an individual or are you a conformist? What are your convictions? What's your passion? What moves you? What shakes you up inside? What makes you cry? What makes you angry? What makes you sexually aroused? How do you really feel about homosexuality? How do you really feel about a man or a woman? How do you really feel about your children, your mother, your father, your sister, your brothers? What is their definition of who you are? Or do you really care? Have you evolved? Have you even considered something greater than yourself? Or you reside in the fact like everybody else is? That I'm an island all by myself. That I don't need any help from nobody. Especially some higher source like God or whoever, Allah or agape. Do you really care about politics? Do you really care about love? Do you really care about anything? You ever took nature walks? Visited other countries? Sat down with other people of different race and culture? Had intense conversations? Stayed up all night long? And just meditated or prayed? Have you been rich or wealthy and then lost everything and became poor? Have you searched deep within yourself? Have you just been spontaneous out of nowhere, jumped in your car and just started riding and didn't care where you wound up? Or are you still in the same place where you were born? Never left the confines of your place of birth and never will. Are you willing to challenge yourself and unfold your deepest intimate thoughts? Are you willing to really love? I'm talking about innocently, purely love somebody with all your heart and soul. And to expose all, nothing hidden. No alternative agendas. Just pure adulterated love. Question is, will you ever get there? Or will you still remain in that same mindset like most people? Confined, imprisoned within your own thoughts. Or the thoughts of others who influences you. First of all, like your mom and dad, like your sisters and brothers. And their mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers, who on a generational level have influenced you. Motivational speakers do one thing. They challenge. You don't need a motivational speaker. You don't need a minister. You don't need a priest. You don't need an elder. You don't need a bishop to make you challenge yourself. You already challenge yourself every day. When you first open your eyes, you already challenge yourself. You challenge yourself to live. And what determines what you do thereon ain't got a thing to do with the president. Ain't got a thing to do with your local minister, sister or brother or children, mother or father. Has to do with you. Self-awareness. I experienced that. Self-worth. Self-love. Don't get me wrong, I had my basis, my foundation, and my foundation is based on a spiritual foundation. And the only way anyone will become free, totally free. And you don't need a piece of paper, no preamble, no constitution, no doctrines from limited minds of men and women that try to tell you you're free or you have civil rights. You were born, innately born with those civil rights the day you open your eyes for the first time. No man can give it to you. We are not defined by the mere minds of men, but by the power and the innate knowledge of the Almighty God. Reason I took both my children when they were born outside, raised them to the heavens. And I told both of them, meet the only thing greater than yourself. And you can call him God, you can call him Allah, you can call him Gapi, you can call him anything you want. But there is a higher authority, people. See, one thing about the human mind, it's so influenced. It's so influenced by others and by the things around you. An intelligent person, and this is the difference between a wise man and a fool. The Bible says a wise man will change, but a fool will never change. The difference is, a wise man examines himself. A fool just exists. A wise man a change because he sees the errors of his ways. And he tries to improve. Where a fool will never see error. He'll just redundantly, repetitively do the same things over and over and over again, like a dog chasing his tail. Much like a lot of people in this world, with the bigotry and racist hatred. Everybody, and this is a personal quote now, everybody needs an outer body experience like I experienced. Everybody needs a spiritual enlightenment, awareness, an experience that happens in your life that pretty much blows your mind. Pretty much opens your eyes and your heart to a life you never knew existed. What separates real men and women is their spiritual being inside. Now you have a lot of ministers, motivational speakers who try and influence you or motivate you in a lot of areas where a lot of people question, because it's been so overly saturated. It's being lost in transition. My personal beliefs, I don't get into all the multi-million dollar cathedrals, all these great manifestations of man and religion. Because religion, in all intents and purposes, that men have developed is a con. Why I say it's a con? Because they use it not in the essence that it's supposed to be used. They use it in an intent to control. If you understand anything about the message of Christ, he said, freely I give to you. See, understand this now. Freely I give to you. Freely you give to others. So what does it say about all these TV ministries? What does it say to all these motivation speakers that charge a fee? Well, you have to question yourself. Is it a show? See, I've gone to theater. I've listened to symphonies, Broadway plays. It's a show. So are they truly interested in you as a person? More so, are they interested in your soul, which truly defines who you are? It's not the shell of the man that defines who he is. It's actually his spirit, because the spirit never dies. The body fades, decays, but the spirit of a man lives on. So pretty much these spiritualists and even people we call witches and stuff, they believe in the supernatural. Witches, don't get me wrong, is a reality. There's two lives we live. There's a fleshly and a spiritual. Never get that wrong. And as much as people try to dismiss it, no. It truly exists.
Running a small business means just that. A lot of running. A lot of things
it's not about people talking about all the evil stuff like you see on movies and stuff like that. There's good things too. You're talking about angels and you know, angels, and the opposite side of the angels is the demons. And we're not going to get into that, because what I want to achieve today is just to open your mind. You can't explain something that you never experienced. And I'm talking to all you atheists out there, that you sit outside of something and deny it without even experiencing it. without even allowing it to even touch your life. So as much as you try to deny God and try to be factual, there is none. There's no basis for your argument because you can't define something that you have never participated in. Like I cannot be an atheist because I refuse to participate. The reason why a lot of people don't understand each other, male, female, the basis of race, because you limit yourself not to become a part of. So how are we really going to get to know one another if we refuse to interact? And I'm not talking walking on the street, bypassing, saying, waving your hand and saying hi, or even having lunch or dinner together. That's interacting. That's not getting involved. Getting involved is actually go where the person lives, exploring the individual, their childhood, their lifestyle, and more importantly, who they are really inside. Get into in-depth intellectual conversations, trying to understand where they came from. Besides sitting on the outside, making judgmental and criticisms, which we often do. Me too. But I've learned one thing. And the most important thing I could ever learn in my life is self-worth. Self-love. That is key to any man, woman, child's success in life. And I don't care where you can go to every country on this earth. Unless you have self-worth, self-love, you will remain in that inept, dark place in life. Never truly evolving to a purpose-driven life given to you by God. And a lot of times you never understand because everybody has a story to be told. Everybody has a different journey. Everybody has a different path. That's why I know it's a purpose-driven life out here. And it's not because of the book. It's because I know, and I knew this when I made the transition from flesh to spirit. And that's not by some church. Okay? That's by faith. And let's define faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for. First, you have to have hope. The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And you have to have evidence. That's why when I had my outer body experience, I had the evidence. And I will take that to my grave. Nobody, and I don't care who, you can be the most powerful person in this world, can never take that from me. Never take that from me. Even down to the demons in the pits of hell can never take that from me. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. Evidence. And once you had the evidence, once you experienced the evidence of truth, no man, woman, or child, anything, spiritual or fleshly, ever can take that away from you. And that in turn enlightens your mind, your heart, and your soul, making you a better person. Not saying perfect, don't get it wrong. Now, I ain't saying perfect. I say a better person. There's none perfect. You will not be perfect. As long as you're in this fleshly body, you will not be perfect. You will reach for perfection, which is the message. Even in a lot of Buddhists, a lot of your Indian religions, a lot of your Sikh and other religions, even Christianity, on a real level. Even Catholicism, but they are so far to the left, it's pathetic. So understand, you will never reach perfection in this body. Your spiritual person, once out of this body and connected with that higher source, which is God, Allah, whatever you want to call him, okay, then it becomes perfect because it begins to go back to first where it was created. And we're not going to get into creation and evolution because pretty much it's one of the same. It's just people interpret it differently. You can't say evolution without creation because the philosophy of anything falling doesn't happen to exist. It's created. Any form. And you looked at within life itself. Planes didn't just appear. Houses didn't just appear. Fire didn't just appear. Food didn't just appear. Anything like that just didn't just appear. It was created. It had to come from something. Everything that you look around life had to come from an innate source. So, yes, it evolves, but it first has to be created. And I'll leave it right there. I'm not even going to get into that because it's just mundanely controversial with a lot of people. So let's keep it on a positive, upbeat type thing. So what I'm doing today, I'm actually challenging you to think outside the proverbial box. How do we know that our mother and father is really our mother and father? Come on. How do we know that our mother and father is truly our mother and father without we knowing that somehow we were adopted? Okay, I'm not talking about adoption. I'm talking about people who are just like supposed to be children of Mary, Joe, whatever the case may be. How do you know? It's called belief. It's called faith. Okay? What if someone came up to you randomly and said, that's not your dad? Okay, you look at your dad because he looks like you. You have similarities of him. Okay? Anybody has albums or even a family tree would know pretty much that, where you came from. And even without that, you just know that's my dad. Or that's my mom. And you'll fight, to protect, that love and compassion you have for your family. Pretty much, it's what you have to do yourself, too. Be willing to fight and protect for who you are. And it's more than just skin. Okay. It's who you are deep inside. The very core of you. That fountain of living water. That eternal fire. That a lot of people don't come in contact with because they're busy running around the world trying to fulfill a dream. I have nothing against dreams. What I do, however, try to understand is bringing people to knowledge of themselves, of your self-worth, of your self-love, which will innately bring you to a freedom that no man can give you. Ain't a piece of paper, ain't a constitutional, ain't no preamble, there's nothing they're going to write in this world can make you free. Hold on, realize that. Can make you free. You're already free. You were born free. From the time that you entered into your mother's womb to the time that you were conceived, in the hospitals around this world, you were free. Because God gave you freedom. Man can't give you anything. Man can only project or interject into your mind he gave you your freedom. He can't give you anything. He can't give what he can't create. So let's get that started. When my children were born, I took both of them outside and held them in my hand and pointed them to the sky. And I told them, meet the only thing greater than yourself. And that's the Almighty God. Allah, Agape, whoever you want to call him. And ever since then, I interjected in them. You had a purpose-driven life. You're put on this earth for a purpose. And your path and your journey in life is focused on that journey. What is your purpose? Some people's purpose to be a fireman, carpenter, nurse, political official, artist like me, musicians, and goes on. Scientist, inventor, goes on and on and on. But within that purpose of your life, it's not a selfish journey. It's a humanitarian journey. That whatever gifts God gave you to possess, and some of us has many, multiples like myself, use them to improve. Not to take away, to improve. There's a message I received very clearly. To gain anything in this life, you have to lose. It's like he said, death is not the end, it's the beginning. And he said, if a man holds on to life, he shall lose it. But if a man loses his life, he shall gain it. And as profound as that is, there's reality in that. The most people I talk to, and I've talked to a lot of people in my life and across this country, they all told me that when they were in a situation in life where they lost everything, they had an epiphany. And they found the real meaning of life. And I totally believe that, because I was in the same situation. See, you're not going to understand life in its fullness unless you reach a proverbial top and then fall. Much like Christ. He came down from high, made himself low, to give a message to mankind. Even to despite those that hated him and crucified him. Whether you believe that particular story or not, I do. So it's neither here nor there. But it's just the example. And this is what happens with a lot of people. You get so caught up in the ideology that you lose the message. And that's what life is. Life is a message. It's a full-blown, lifelong message that people still don't get. King David got it. And why I say he got it, because when I read about him, he was all man, but he was wise. And he was all man because, yes, he had his weaknesses. A weakness for women, which most men do. Okay? But in that, he understood. And one quote I'm going to tell you about him that was left with me, that I embrace even till today. And was one of his prayers where he said, Lord, purge me with hyssop, that I may become clean. Wash me, that I may become as pure as snow. And create in me a clean heart. See, it's about a cleansing. It's about a spiritual cleansing. Not once, but every day. So to ever think you're going to get anywhere in life being self-absorbent, greedy, you already lost before you even started. Quote you here, it first begins with me. It's so true. This is just a beginning of what we'll carry through later on. Different episodes of trying to reach you as an individual, to try to reach the innermost parts of you that defines you. The part that average people don't understand unless you're willing to share. I'm willing to reach. I'm willing to be there. I'm willing to go where no man has ever gone before. Inside the actual person of who you are. Not the fleshly man or woman, but the spiritual one. If you give me time to explore who you are. Till the next time, God bless. Peace.